Hey everyone, this is a quick video to give you some tips on how to use Noteflight to complete your Commonplace Book assignments. Okay, this is usually the screen you'll get to when you log into Noteflight. So what you want to do is click on New Score, and it'll give you an option of either starting from a blank score sheet or import XML MIDI file. So you want to start from blank score sheet, and it'll give you the default is piano. Now, this is a new version of Noteflight, so if you're not familiar with it, take a look at all the toolbars that are available on the top. And you can turn these on and off using this little hamburger button here, and it shows you all the different options that you can use for making your score. For example, if you're just transcribing the melody of a piece and you don't need a piano, or if you're writing for any other instrument that's not piano, you want to change this. So all you have to do is go to Instruments, and then this is where you're going to adjust the instruments in your file. So I actually want to add, I just want voice, let's see, or I don't want voice, but let's see, I just want, I'm going to say flute. Because I just want one line with a flute sound. Okay, so those are what's available to me, and I'm just gonna change that name to voice, for example. Okay, so I'm gonna just leave everything else and click OK. Okay. This doesn't matter. It's just giving me one line, so I can, and it will also sound like a flute whenever I put some music in. In the same time, I also don't need to use the piano, so I'm gonna delete that. Okay. So now I just have one line, and the notes will sound like a flute. So that's a good start. Next, you'll adjust your time signature by clicking on it. So 4/4 is fine. You can also adjust the tempo by going to the tempo here and adjusting it. Now, if you just do that, if you click on that, it'll just adjust that tempo for that one measure. So instead, I'm going to undo. Undo is in the edit menu. That's really useful. I'm just going to not click on anything while I adjust the tempo. So that adjusts the tempo for the whole section. I'm just going to do 88. Okay, next I'm going to change the key because I'm going to, for this I'm going to analyze Michael Jackson's Ben, which is on page 178. It's an F major, so to change the key, that's actually in the measure menu. It's a little counterintuitive, but it is. There's a key signature button that says change key signature. Now, if for some reason you don't see this, make sure you go to the hamburger on the left here, and make sure that measure is checked. And when you're hovering over measure, you then can actually also go into all the different options. It'll actually give you a name to remind you what that is. So I'm going to change the key signature and change it to F major. 1 flat. Next, I'm going to start inputting some notes. So for example, I'm going to click on this rest here and start putting notes. Now, once I click on any part, the measure, it'll give you a cursor. And so the easiest way, of course, is to pick the note and then just put it in. Okay, and you can then, after you put the note, then change the duration to add a dot, or maybe a half note with a dot, etc. Okay. Now, so that's one easy way to put in the notes. If you have a lot of notes, what you can also do is, while there's a cursor, use the keyboard. For example, all of the 7 letters of the alphabet, the musical alphabet A, B, C, D, E, F, G, are all on the left side of the keyboard. So what I do is I just leave my left hand on the keyboard, which I can write in A, B, C, D, E, F, or G, and I use my right hand to use the mouse. So my next note is D, so I'm going to just type D, okay, and I need to change that to an 8th note. Okay. Now the 8th note is in play, so the next few notes I have to write are all 8th notes. So I'm just going to type them in using the keyboard. So C, B, C, D. Okay. Now one of these notes is a natural, so I'm going to click on the B flat here and change that to a natural by heading to pitch, clicking on natural. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. And click on the rest. I know that the next note is going to be an 8th note, so I'm going to actually select an 8th rest and then change that to C, G. Now, another quick tip here, when you type in a note, it'll it'll give you the octave that's the closest to your previous note. So to change the octave really quickly, just press Control up arrow, or if you're on a Mac, Command up arrow while that note is selected. So I have a G here that's not in the octave I want, so I'm going to bring it up to the next octave up by just doing Command up arrow. It's really fast that way too, so you don't have to like click and drag every time you want to put in a note. The next one is a G, and it's going to be a dotted half note. And I'm just gonna now. If you're transcribing songs, a lot of the songs repeat a lot of the time. So, for example, this particular phrase, it's pretty much a repetition of this first two measures. So what I could do is highlight the first two measures, and I did that by clicking on a blank part of the staff, which highlights the whole measure, and then I press Shift on the keyboard while I want to select the ending part of the selection, which is the second measure. Okay, you can test this out on your own and see how it works. Okay, so now I have both measures selected. I'm going to copy this by heading to the Copy button, or Command C or Control C. Right. And you're gonna paste it by using the paste, which is the little clipboard, or Command V or Control V. The same thing as a word processor. Right. So now I've really easily copied both measures into 4. The very last two notes here in this phrase actually is a B flat. So I'm going to click on this G and type in B, which changes the note. Okay. And it'll automatically add a measure. Okay, so that's the first phrase. Now, to add a phrase mark, we're going to use the articulation of a slur, okay, which is an S. So what you can do is click on the first note here that you want for the slur, and you're going to type S. Okay, and once you type S, it'll give you a slur, and then you can manipulate the slur by using these handles. The handle to the right here governs where the ending part is, and for me, this phrase is actually all the way to here. Okay. Okay. So that's the first phrase. So I'm going to label it that way. And to label things, I'm going to use text, which is performance text. Okay. So you can take a look at the the menu here for text. There you have different things. The text I'm going to use is performance text, or you can use the shortcut T. If I want to add a text here, I can press T. I'll give you a little text box, and I'm going to say A, because this is the first section. Okay. And if I want to label this cadence as a half cadence, because it indeed ends on a 5/7 chord, in effect 5/6/5, I'm going to click on this again. Okay, click on T, and I'm going to say half cadence. Okay. And you can move these around so that it's not in the way. Okay. And that's a basic overview of how to do this. Make sure you save, okay? And when you are ready to, you can put in the title too to make sure you keep track of what piece this is. And once you're ready, then we're gonna hit save. Okay, and you will be able to go to Score and export. And this is where you can export as a PDF file. That's what you're gonna hand in, okay? It's a really useful program. I think you'll like it, not only for analyzing, but also use it enough so that when you need to notate and compose, you can use Noteflight. Okay? Good luck.